Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm talking about my NFC East predictions for the 2021 NFL season. Sorry for the super late video. I had a super busy day today. Also, why I couldn't do the draft at 9 p.m. because I'm starting filming at 10. So, yeah. The draft will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for any of you doing fantasy football. I made a video yesterday about it, so hopefully you guys all got the message. 9 p.m. tomorrow night for fantasy football. That being said, let's get into the video. So first on the list, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-14. I have the Eagles going 3-14 mostly because their team is terrible and because I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz had a terrible season last year, partly because their team was terrible, partly because he didn't just do well. And then Jalen Hurts has only had a few starts. He wasn't very spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. The team isn't great, and I think that it'll take a while for them to get any momentum going, if they get any momentum going. I have them losing week 1 to the Falcons. If they were playing the Falcons later in the season, I'd have them winning, but because it's the first game of the season, I think that Matt Ryan is going to have the advantage over Jalen Hurts with the experience, week 1 games, that's one of the only weeks that I would have the Falcons actually beating the Eagles. Week 2, I have them losing to the 49ers. 49ers are much better. I have them losing out to the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. I think that Dak Prescott should be able to fairly easily figure out the Eagles' defense and outscore whatever the Cowboys' defense gives up. I have them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs as expected, and I have them beating the Carolina Panthers for their first win of the season. I have them losing to the Super Bowl winning Buccaneers. That's self-explanatory. I have them losing to the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to do great this year, but I think that they'll be able to beat the Eagles. I have them beating the Lions, who I think are the second worst team in the league, second only to the Texans. I have them losing to the Chargers, one of the better teams, in my opinion. I have them losing the next 5 games in a row to the Broncos, the Saints, the Giants, the Jets, and Washington. None of those teams are amazing. None of them are even, the Saints are decent. I'll expect the Saints to be decent, but I don't think the Broncos, the Washington football team, the Giants, or the Jets are going to even be 500. I think they'll all be 8-9 or lower. And I still don't see the Eagles beating any of them. I mean, the Broncos' defense is way too strong for Jalen Hurts to run all over. The Saints' defense is too good. The Giants' defense, these are all defensive teams. And the Eagles, without having a defense and having a pretty mediocre offense, won't be able to beat these strong defenses. And then the Jets, I think that they could beat the Jets. But Zach Wilson later on in the season, he'll have a groove going. He'll know his offense. I think that he'll be able to figure out the Eagles' defense fairly well and outscore their bad offense. It's not even mediocre, it's just bad. I have them beating the Giants later on in the season. I have them splitting with the Giants. I really only did this because I thought that it was unrealistic to put the Eagles at 2-15. That's the only reason why I have them beating the Giants, is because I think that that's the most likely game to give them, except for maybe the Jets game, but I think that the splitting with the Giants is more likely. And then I have them losing to Washington and the Cowboys to round out the season. The Cowboys will be fighting for playoff positioning. They're not going to lose under pressure. And Washington, I think that Taylor Heineke will be quarterback by that point in the season, and I don't see the football team losing to the Eagles, week 17. Next up, we have the Giants at 5-12. A little better than the Eagles, a little better. I think that the Giants are better than 5-12, but they have a tough schedule. They have a weird schedule. It's like a lot of games that are right on the border of being hard, that are just a little bit too hard. First week, I have them losing to the Broncos. I think that this will be like a 17-14 game. It's not going to be very high scoring. Neither of these teams have had Saquon's been injured for the last year and a half. The Broncos have a new quarterback. This will be a defensive game. I'm not sure who's going to win, but I have the Broncos winning. I have the Giants losing week 2 to Washington. I have them splitting with Washington. I don't really know which order I want to put them in yet. I have them losing week 2. I might switch them because Danny Dimes has been with the Giants. He's used to the Giants. And Washington still is figuring out their quarterback, so I might switch which games, but I have them splitting with Washington. I have them beating the Falcons, because as I said about the Eagles, I would have the Eagles beating the Falcons, but it was week 1. This is week 3. Giants will win. Week 4 against the Saints, I have them losing. Saints, Cowboys, Rams. Those are 3 tough games in a row. The Giants might squeak one win out of those 3, but I doubt it. I have them beating the Panthers. I have a lot of teams dumping on the Panthers. The Panthers right now are my team to give bad teams extra wins to. That's kind of what they were last year when I made these prediction videos. So I don't want to know what their record's gonna be. But I don't see the Panthers doing much. Their defense is bad. Their offense is, Christian McCaffrey's gonna be back, but their defense is terrible. After the Panthers, they have the Chiefs, the Raiders, and Buccaneers. The Raiders are the easiest of those 3 teams, and I still don't see them winning. Kansas City and Tampa have insanely strong offenses and defenses, and the Raiders have a good offense, but I can see the Giants beating the Raiders like 20-10. The Giants are only going to win in low-scoring games, I think. I think that Saquon might be able to go off in some games, but I think that coming off of an injury, Danny Dimes hasn't really ever shown any sign of improvement. Like, they're just going to be on the border of... They'll have a lot of really close games, but they're going to win on defense, not on offense. I have them beating the Eagles after their losing streak. And then moving on to Miami, I have them losing. I think Miami is the Giants, but slightly improved. A tweak better in every single area. A tweak better quarterback, a tweak better offensive line, a tweak better defense, a tweak better everything. I think that the Dolphins should be able to comfortably win that game. And then I have the Chargers, who I'm bought in on. I think the Chargers are going to make it to the AFC Championship game. I have the loss to the Cowboys. Again, I think the Cowboys' offense is just too strong for the other teams in this division to contend. I have them losing to the Eagles. I think it's more likely the Giants beat the Eagles twice than split with them, but I felt bad for the Eagles putting them at 2-15. And then I have the Bears and Washington as the last 2 games of the season. Winning both of those games, they'll beat the Bears in a defensive battle, and they'll beat Washington in another defensive battle. They're winning all of these games on their defense. I don't like Saquon's good, but I can't stress enough that they're winning on their defense. I can see the Giants going 7-10. I don't think 5-12 is really that realistic, but I just went head-to-head in every single game. Which team strictly is better, except for the splitting with the Eagles thing. And after saying which team strictly I think will win, they end up at 5-12. I think they'll win a couple flukes in there, end up 8-9, 7-10, that kind of thing. Next, we have Washington at 6-11. Same situation. I don't think they're going 6-11. I think they're going 7-9, maybe 8-9, 7-10, 8-9, maybe 9-8. Probably not 9-8, maybe 8-9. But I have them losing week 1 to the Chargers. They still don't know who their quarterback is, so I think the Chargers should be able to win that game pretty easily. I have them beating the Giants week 2. Again, I might switch that with the last game of the season. I have them losing to the Bills week 3. The Bills team overall is just considerably better than Washington. Better offense. Washington has a better defense, but I don't think their defense is going to be too effective against the Bills' powerhouse of an offense. I have them beating the Falcons. I just have this whole division dumping on Atlanta. I have everyone dumping on Atlanta. Atlanta and Carolina are like my dump teams because I really don't have any faith in either of those 2 teams. I have them losing to the New Orleans Saints. I don't really know what to say in these videos anymore. I think the Saints are a solid team. I have them losing to the Saints. They have a rough row: Saints, Chiefs, Packers, Broncos, and Bucks. I think they could beat the Broncos in a defensive battle. Their offense showed some promise last year. They could have a good offensive showing. I actually might switch that game. I'm gonna switch that game. I have them beating the Broncos. I'm not gonna switch the whole thing, but I have them beating the Broncos for the record, 7-10. I have them beating the Panthers and then losing to Seattle, and then I think the Seattle game will cross over into the Raiders game. They might win the Raiders game. I might put the that would be most likely way for them to reach 8-9. I think is to beat the Raiders. I think that most of their wins will come in the back half of the season, when they figure out who their quarterback is, when their offense is clicking, when their defense is stronger. That's when they're going to win most of their games. Panthers, Raiders. They'll split with the Cowboys, surprisingly. I think they'll beat the Eagles twice. Their Giants game might be the last game of the season, so the first. They could literally finish off the season like 5-3. 6-2. I think they could finish the season 6-2. They could start off like 1-8 and finish off 6-2. I think they're going to have a strong back half of the season. Not strong enough to make the playoffs, but strong enough to be like, hey, we could be contenders next year. The only issue is Washington really hasn't won any games the last 3 years when Alex Smith wasn't the quarterback. Alex Smith has had a fantastic record with Washington, but without him, they've had a terrible, terrible, terrible record. So, I really want to believe in this Washington team, but without Alex Smith, I just can't put too much faith in their abilities, because they haven't shown that they can win without him. And last but certainly not least, we have the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys losing week 1 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then going 12-4 the rest of the season, beating the Chargers in a I think that this could be a 50 point for each 100-point game. Like I already mentioned this in the Chargers video, I think. But we saw the Chiefs Rams game in 2018 where they won 54-51, the Rams. I think that this could be I think that we could see like 57-54, like Cowboys Chargers shootout, absolute shootout of a game between the Cowboys and the Chargers. That's going to be an intense game. I think the Cowboys will come out on top. I think the Chargers have a stronger defense, but I think that Dak Prescott's going to come out on top in that. He'll be dialed in. Week 3, we have the Eagles, easy win. Week 4, we have the Panthers, easy win. Week 5, we have the Giants, easy win. Week 6, we have the Patriots. They'll put up a fight, fairly easy win. The defense, I think that this will be a tough game for them to win. They're going to need to figure out the Patriots defense early on. If they don't have 10 points at the half, or if they don't have 2 touchdowns at the half, I don't see them winning. They need to be like 14 to like 10 at half. If they're losing at the half, I think the Patriots will win. But I think that right now I have the Cowboys winning that game. The Vikings are going to be an interesting team to watch this year. I think that they could go either way. They made a couple of improvements to their defense, which is obviously the biggest issue on their team, with Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Kirk Cousins. It's an amazing offense, but their defense just needs to get it together. I don't have the Vikings winning a lot of games this year, but I think that they could potentially. I have the Cowboys beating the Broncos and the Falcons, 2 easy wins, and then losing to the Chiefs, stopping the 8-game win streak. Kansas City's just strong. I'm just not betting against Kansas City in many games this year. I have them beating the Raiders, probably fairly easy. I have them losing to the Saints. I don't remember doing that. I don't know if they'll lose to the Saints, but I think that the Saints could have a chance of beating them. I think that the Cowboys are more likely to win that game. This is, I guess, an upset that I'm predicting. I have them splitting with Washington. I think the Washington defense will get the better of them in one of those games. And then I have them beating the Giants and the Eagles pretty handily in both situations for both teams. And week 17, I have them losing to the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals have a new and improved defense. Their offense is full of the same weapons as last year. Arizona is going to be forced to be reckoned with. I think they're going to win the NFC West, the hardest division in football, and it won't be too shabby of a win either. Arizona's my team this year. Arizona's the team I'm predicting to like win it all. I like picking an outside chance team. Arizona's my outside chance team this year. I think most people have them around like 7, 8, 9 best team in the league. Number 4 for me. Arizona's going to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I have the Cowboys losing to them. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to get another one out tomorrow. I do want to finish this series before the season starts, and there are a couple other ideas I kind of want to get out before Sunday. Maybe not before Thursday, but before Sunday. So hopefully I can get those to you guys. NFL draft, not NFL, fantasy football draft tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Be there or be square. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.